So maybe we'll just talk about it this way. No matter what format you're given, so let's say you get one that looks like this, or you get one that looks like this, or you get one that looks like this, 1/2 x plus 2, x minus 15, let's say. It doesn't matter which format. All of these are going to be a quadratic. All of these are going to result in a parabola when you graph it. Every single time you look at it, you should at least be able to tell whether it's going to be pointing up or down. That is like bare minimum. What do I look at? I look at the value that's in front of everything. Okay? And sometimes, okay, I should also say this, sometimes, maybe let's get rid of this. Sometimes it'll just be like that. And you might think, wait, I don't know what A is. A is 1 in that case, positive 1, right? It's still there. It's always there. So right away, we look at this one. We know this is going to point down, correct? Because it's negative. This one is going to point down because it's negative. This one would be pointing up because it's positive. So at the very least, you should be able to tell that right away, okay, without even entering into your calculator. Why am I saying this? Sometimes students enter the wrong, they make a mistake, and it's not even pointing the way it should be pointing. Right? That would have been an easy way to catch yourself right away. It's like, wait a minute, this isn't right. It's not pointing the way it's supposed to. On that note, the vertex is probably one of the most important things you need to find. The vertex here would be a max, correct? It's the top of the hill. A max here as well. And here you would use the min to find the vertex. So you have to watch out which way is it pointing. Look at the graph and see what makes sense, right? In this case, the vertex is the lowest point, so minimum. Think of minimum, right? Highest point, so you should think max, okay? And to graph, you need all the intercepts and the vertex. For any graph you ever do, those are the most important things you want. X-intercepts, y-intercepts. Y-intercept, right? There's only one. How do you find them? X-intercepts, you simply let y2 equal to 0, and then use second trace intersect. Okay? So you can have that on your calculator. This, for x-intercepts in particular, okay, it's always going to be 0 for y2. But down the road, we might explore other values, like let's say y2 is equal to 4. We'll figure out the x values for when y is equal to 4. Okay? But for now, particularly x-intercepts, I should say that. X-intercepts, that's how you do it. And remember, how many x-intercepts can a parabola have? Up to 2. Up to 2. It could have none, right? What would you do if this ever happened to you and I said, hey, find the x-intercepts? You would say, none, not applicable. That's what you would say, okay? It's not a trick. I'm actually wanting to know whether or not you know what you're doing. And then you could have one where it's the vertex is right on it. So let's say you find the vertex and the vertex ends up being -2, 0. What should that tell you? It's like, wait a minute. That is also an x-intercept, right? It's two things at that point. It is x-intercept and the vertex at the same time. So then you only have one. So don't try to find another one if you realize that your vertex has a 0 for the y, okay? Then it's just that. And then, of course, you have the case where it crosses it twice, which is going to be most of the time, when you have to find both of them. So you have to do second trace intersect twice. Once to find this, and you travel over, you go sideways arrow. Don't use up and down arrows, okay? You travel to the other one. So you hit enter 3 times once you're close enough. And that's how you find the x-intercept, okay? To find the vertex, obviously, it would be second trace min or max. It depends on which way it's pointing. And the y-intercept, I didn't talk about this one enough because we just kind of look, like when it's in general form, it's always this last, that number tells us what the y-intercept is, correct? Yeah? But when it's in these ones, you don't know what it is off the top. You have to actually calculate it. If you don't feel like doing that, you can always use this function, second trace. I talked about it, right? I think at least value. and you let x equal to 0, okay? That's how you do it. I'm going to show you that just now on your calculator. That's how you do it with the calculator. So this one is that I use that one if I have a scenario that isn't general. Like if there are brackets, you want to be using this, okay? If not in general. I don't know what you want to do. If you want to add this to your study sheet, I'm not sure what you want to do. I just thought I'd give you a little overview real quick. And then I'll do one of the ones I have assigned. I'm not going to do the whole thing. It's going to be a very rough graph. Okay, it's not going to be super pretty, but at least you know how to address it, okay, when that shows up. Does that make sense? Yeah? However, the big fine print here is you need to see the graph on your screen. If you don't see the graph on your screen, your calculator is going to give you some kind of error message. So let's say you're trying to find the vertex. So I'll give you an example right here. This is your window. And you just see a little bit here. Okay, and you're like, hey, I see it. I'm going to try to find the vertex. It's not going to find it. Okay, so you're going to have to adjust your window to make sure you see the whole thing. Okay, whether it goes this way or the other way, you're going to have to see the whole thing in order to do it. So window is probably, because this would be so easy if we could just have the calculator find the perfect window for us, then it would be a non-issue. You would find it every time. It's the window that is the tricky part. So I will with you real quick, and you may have done this already at home. I think this is question 4 on the graphing. So this is definitely not in general form. I just typed it in exactly the way I see it. I'm going to try to graph it. I don't see anything, so I'm going to do some troubleshooting here. I know this is pointing up because this is positive. So when I look at this, right, I'm expecting something like this. Okay, so I'm going to try X-min. I'm going to change that first. I'm going to go -30 on the X-min. There you go. Now I see both legs. So that's good. I'm not going to change my X's anymore. I'm just going to now, I know my vertex is where, because you might be thinking, if you don't know what you're doing, that the vertex might be over here. But we know it's pointing, right? We know it's dipping. So I'm going to change my Y-min. So I go to Window. I'm going to change my Y-min to, let's say, -50. Graph it. Not good enough. So now I'm getting impatient. I'm going to jump by 50 at a time. Still not good enough. So I'm going to try -200. Graph it again. Still not good enough. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's a bit of a... Okay, now it's enough is enough. -350. Still not good enough. So you know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna get really good at changing your window and quickly graphing it. And then see how the changes are affecting your graph. Okay. So now I have everything I need to see. How so? I've got the x-intercepts. I've got the y-intercept, and I can clearly see the vertex. Okay. So change your window, knowing how it's supposed to behave, and then once you see it, now you can start finding things. So I'm going to find the vertex real quick, which is the second trace. I'm going to use minimum, right? And watch this. This cursor, you only use sideways arrows, okay? Don't use up and down. If you have the cursor out somewhere off your screen, you need to bring it back. So I look at this Y value as I'm going sideways arrow. So I'm realizing if I go to the left, it's coming closer, right, to where I am. So it says left boundary first. So you need to go to the left of the vertex, hit enter. Then you go to the right of the vertex, hit enter. And now you've narrowed it down to that area. Enter one more time. So my vertex there, I'm going to really quickly just state it here, -6, -405. It's extreme values, right? But you need to be comfortable with that. So I know that that's the vertex. I'm going to find the y-intercept real quick. And this is how I use this function right here. Second trace value. I let x equal to 0. And it's going to tell me what the y-intercept is, which is 0, negative 225. Okay. And the x-intercepts, there are two. Okay, there are two, so I need to find them both. You go to y equals, you let y2 equal to 0, hit graph, second trace 5. I'm already close to this one, so I'm just going to stick with that one first. Enter, enter, enter. So that would be 3, 0. Let's find the other one, second trace 5. Travel across, get closer to that one, enter, enter, enter. And that's negative 15, 0. Now I have everything I need to graph this thing. And this is supposed to guide you, right? You know that most of the graph is happening in the third quadrant, right? You see that? So let that help you out. So if I asked you to graph this from scratch, I would say you just grab like this. Right? Use your ruler. I know that I need to go all the way down to negative 400 or so. So I'm going to try negative 100, 200, 300, 400, and I'm going to go 500 there. So this is negative 500. Doesn't hurt to label it properly. Okay? There we go. And then here, for the x, I go to negative 6 for the vertex and negative 15 for the x-intercept. So I can probably just go by 2's there or something like that. So I'm going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That's not going to work. So I'm going to go by 3's. Or I can go 5's. I like going by 5's or 10's or 100. So this will work as long as you're consistent, which means if you go out to the right here, this will be positive 5. That's good enough. And then maybe one more here, just saying this is plus 100. So I'm going by 100 here, and I'm going by 5's there. As long as you're consistent, you're fine. Now let's plot. Negative 6 is right here, negative 405. So that's right about there. The y-intercept is at negative 225. That's right about there. 3, 0 is right there. Negative 15, 0 is right there. So now you've got everything you need. So you go to your vertex, go up and over, but make sure you don't curve in, and then come over here. It's a bit of an art. It takes practice, but it can be done. Okay, so this, and then don't forget this one would be 5x minus 3x plus 15. Let's see if you notice a pattern. My x-intercepts are 3 and negative 15, correct? You see that? When you were factoring in grade 10, you were technically finding the x-intercepts. The only thing is, what do you notice about their signs? As soon as you take them out of the bracket and put them in here, they change, right? They're opposite signs. So negative 3 turns positive. Positive 15 turns negative when you're actually plotting it. So that's another pattern there. What's the domain here? You can close your eyes and just do this, right? It's all real numbers. What about the range? It's y, it's pointing up, right? So y is going to be greater than or equal to whatever the vertex, the y value of the vertex is, which is negative 405. Okay, that's how you do the domain and range. If you like the interval notation, you would go from negative 405 all the way to positive infinity. Infinity gets a round bracket, and the value gets a square bracket. Okay. If you like interval notation here, that one is just infinity to infinity. And so that's, I hope this review helped you. Okay. Kind of summarizing it a little bit. We're going to spend a lot of time. So let me tell you this, okay? If you forgot a lot of these things, let's say you forgot a bunch of these things, I want you to remember this for grade 12 as well. If I give you an equation, type it into your calculator. Y1, type it in exactly the way you see it. And then just graph it and see if you can find it. If you're absolutely stuck, you cannot figure out your window, reset it, go zoom standard. Okay, try again, make changes. Maybe don't make too many changes at a time, right? Some students, they change all 4 and then it's like, whoa, what happened? Maybe just be like, okay, I can see some of it, I'll change X min till I see the other leg. Okay, got it. Now I'm gonna go up or down, depends on where the vertex is supposed to be, right? So you gotta practice, that's all I'm saying. I think just watching me do this probably looks easy, I hope it looks easy, but it is practice, right? It doesn't just happen. You need to see different scenarios. I want you to see values that are not just like a pretty 10 by 10 window. I want you to see values that go way beyond the 10 by 10, okay? So you're comfortable with that. All right.